What is up, guys? This is Sean Flack 2.0. Welcome to episode 7 of Practical Pivot. I am joined, I guess I'm throwing a little bit off because I'm in a different recording area right now, but I am joined via Facebook. See, I'm real thrown off. Via Google Hangouts, the co host of Practical Pivot, Mike T.
Hello, what's up? What's up?
So today, on today's episode 7, it is called New Year, New You in 5 Steps. Now, a couple of things that we've had basically done in the past when it comes to our show is we've talked about a lot of professional, financial, things like that. And, for me, of course, me being a plus size model, I wanted to bring, if we're going to talk about practical pivots and changes in our life, I want to bring fitness into it as well, fitness and like dieting. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I guess between me and Mike having offline conversations, I'll be spearheading this episode. But before we get into the episode, let's kind of talk about what happened during this past week. And Mike, what you got? How's your week?
Same old same, man. It's been okay. It's been okay. A couple of rough days, but overall, it's been okay. I'm here. I'm blessed. I'm healthy as far as I know, and so I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Okay, I'm doing pretty good this past week. Let's see. As far again, work is work. Did anything special happen this week to me? No, not that I could remember. Baby Kai's first birthday. So that is something that
Yeah.
So that's actually part of the reasons why I'm in a different recording location, because I usually record in the garage, and everything is in the garage right now, so there's no space in there for me to record. So anyway, the party went well. I took a couple of days off work just to prep and then help with the cleanup and all that stuff afterwards. She just turned 1, so part of what I'm doing as far as a dad and things like that, and why we do this show to make changes to better ourselves. My family is my number one motivation as to why I do certain things, and that's basically all I got there for this past week.
Hey, that's good, man. That is all good. You got to enjoy that time, man. Enjoy it.
Right. They're only one once, I guess, or they only stay so small for so long. So enjoy it. And, the wife went all out on it because we have, it's the last first birthday we'll be celebrating. So, it was a big shebang. So.
Yeah. Good, man. Good. I'm glad that went well. That's good. That's what's up.
Okay. So we'll get right into the episode. So basically everything we've done in the past talked about professionalism, our careers, where we see ourselves, what we want our lives to look like. But it all, could go to shit. And, and just like that, like, any kind of unforeseeable problem, and what I'm talking about is your health. So in today's episode, health was going to be the topic. And, basically, I went ahead and the dog's coming.
Well, at least we got one viewer.
Right. Okay, now look. Okay, give me 1 second. That's the cool thing about having the mic, mic mute. So, anyway, basically talking about health. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how independent you can be financially, or where you are on the corporate ladder. If your health is not part of the changes you want to make positively in your life, it doesn't matter, because you could easily drop dead. Now, there's also been that whole debate about, a bicyclist could go out tomorrow and get hit by a bus. Like, we understand those types of things, but I want to talk about health because a lot of the things when it comes to trying to get more healthy play a role into making your positive changes for your life. So Mike, tell me a little bit about like health. Like, what do you know? What don't you know? What are some, I don't know, like when it comes to health for you, where does it fit in the big picture?
Well, I don't know much to be honest. I mean, well, I know that I don't know much. Um,
Okay.
I never, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I never really put health as, I guess, a priority in my
Okay.
life.
Okay.
I'm always been paper thin, so and I know that size doesn't really have much to do with what's going on in the inside as far as how healthy I really am. But I just, I never really worried about what I ate, things like that, because I could eat whatever and I'm not gonna gain no weight anyway. So it's like I just never really tripped off of it. But, I know it is important. I know I need to start eating better. I eat a lot of sweets and that's definitely not good. I don't really pay too much attention to like vegetable intake or this carb or that, I just
Right.
don't, man.
Okay.
So I guess to answer your question, what do I know is just not much, not much.
Okay, which probably could be the same as like and again I'm just throwing this number out there, but many of our viewers or many of just the people out there really don't think they're so focused on the bills and the debt and trying to make some changes there that health always falls to the wayside. Especially if you think you're healthy or you go to the gym enough, or you don't go to the gym or whatever, but health is always like on the last. Um, it's always in the back of your mind until unfortunately something happens. And you know, um, we always talk about grinding and using our time wisely and things like that. But health is not just physical health; it's also mental health.
Very
Uh,
true. Very
so,
true.
when we talk about grinding and working hard and sacrificing now, we may miss some of the telltale signs that your body's telling you to slow down. And either number one, you miss a telltale sign of some kind of serious thing, illness that if you'd have just caught it early on, like a cancer or whatever the case is, um, it'd been more treatable. It'd have been less of a a significant diagnosis. But we're so focused on the grind, or paying this bill, or doing this or doing that, that we miss those cues, or we justify staying up extremely late, and I've just got to grind through this and get through this and get through this, and you're taken away from sleep, and you're not getting enough sleep, and you're not giving your body enough time to rest and recover from the stresses of the day, and you're tired and you do something stupid. So physical health, mental health. Again, just wanted to bring that to the forefront of our show, because again, to me, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. One bad medical bill could bankrupt even the millionaires. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. It's easy too, man, to get caught up. Like you say, when you are busy, and you don't have time to meal prep or do all these things. You just grab something to eat. You get something quick. You know it's probably not good for you, but you just get it because you're so busy and you got to
Right.
move on to the next. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's easy to get caught up in that.
So I'm going to share some of my experiences with it. Obviously, I call myself a plus size model, but I am, clinically obese. Um, and I'm diabetic as well, so I always have to check, my sugar levels, or I have to be conscious of like what I'm eating, and that carb, or like that sweet. And I still get my carbs and my sweets in. I just have to know that I'm going to sacrifice my carb for a sweet or something like that. Diabetes is something that I've learned to live with and been able to manage with, without like insulin shots or anything like that. So that's good.
Mhm.
Um, I'd have to say, if I was a little bit more health conscious, I probably would have took my health a little bit more seriously. When I was going through the doctor, they're like, "Well, you're pre-diabetic." And I made a joke. Well, isn't everybody pre-diabetic? You know,
Right.
you, But and then when I got with my wife, I fully blown crossed that line into being a diabetic, and it like blew me away. Like, oh my God, I really was kind of um, uh, I don't want to say depressed. I was very sad about it. I was very defeated with it, because no, it wasn't a joke anymore. But if I look back and when the doctors were like, dude, you're pre-diabetic, you want to do this and do this and do this. If I would have just listened and, followed the doctor's advice, I most likely wouldn't have gone into full-blown diabetes. So again, my personal experience of, just, I'm grinding, I'm getting my work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm taking care of the kid, I'm going to the gym. I don't know why I'm, pre-diabetic or whatever, but you can't go to the gym and then go to Taco Bell and have like 5 tacos after.
Right.
And that's what was happening, and I just wasn't making that connection. So when I became pre-diabetic, I started looking, or when I became full diabetic, luckily, the wife, she actually had beat diabetes, and she actually had, I forget what it's called, gastric bypass surgery. And then through that, she lost a lot of weight. And then she was diabetic before, and then she beat her diabetes. And then after the surgery, you still, just because you have the surgery doesn't mean that it's going to fix everything. You have to change your whole lifestyle, learn how to cook, for a diabetic, and, do a lot of research. So the dieting took a big hit. Like I would go and eat whatever. And, she was like, no, you can't do that because of this. And I think through her support of me becoming diabetic and her knowledge of knowing that, this is how you have to eat, this is how you have to change this and do that, it made managing the diabetes a whole lot easier. So that was a cool little support that I had there. But again, I was already attacking the problem too late. So one of the things I want to bring up is, make sure you're on it. You take the time to listen to your body and go get your checks done and stuff like that, because you don't want to drop dead all of a sudden. So
not in the plan. It's not in the plan, man.
Right. So a couple things that besides her assistance and stuff like that, I started looking into eating. Because obviously, just like you said, you like sweets and things like that. So I read a bunch of books. There was a lot of research, and I went through, and I'm just going to name off a couple. You had the abs diet and the belly off diet. Those are the men's health ones. You have carb cycling, and I forget what the celebrity guy was his name. And I have the book in the garage, and I'll probably post a link or something to take a look at these books. But carb cycling was being aware of your carb intake. Now, it wasn't like low carb. It was just like you eat carbs 3 days a week, and then you insert exercise with that. There's that. There was a carb cycling diet, and I'm sorry, the abs diet was that eat six small meals a day. So that's what that diet was. And then carb cycling was you eat carbs every other day or something. And then of course there's Atkins, which turned into keto. So the most famous version of keto is Atkins, where it's no carb, high fat. So I looked into that, and that's currently what me and the wife are doing right now. We're doing, and I'm calling it Cheeto, and it's something that somebody has said to us about it, but low carb and more protein, but not necessarily adding in extra fat. So I bring up those diets to just point out the fact that no matter whatever diet you do, you find that works for you, there is research that has to happen, and there's planning that has to happen with it as well. Like you do have to meal prep, you do have to think about, what you're going to put in your fridge. And then, so no matter whatever you plan on doing, if you want to change your diet, so you talk to your doctor, you go get your checkups like you're supposed to, you take the time to listen to your body. If you do need to make a change, you have to plan for it and then execute it. And then after the dieting was exercise. And I guess the last thing is exercise. And I guess for me, it's just walk. I used to think I could go run and stuff like that, and that was not in my realm of doing because I'm fat, and running would hurt my knees. So just start walking. So I would just start walking. So
you have an amount, like a distance that you walk, that you try to walk?
They say 10,000 steps. I actually have 7,000 is what my daily goal is 7,000 steps. Yeah, I mean, if I started off with only like 2,500 steps, and then I bumped it to 5,000 steps, and then I bumped it to 7,000 steps. Is where I'm currently at now.
Okay.
If I'm walking like 10,000 steps, that's a lot of walking I'm doing, and I sometimes don't know how people could do that. So, especially if you like work in an office or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all right, Mike. So, I mean, do you go to the gym or anything like that, or you said you didn't even.
Absolutely not. I you know what's funny is I'm listening to you and just like, kind of absorbing what you were saying, but I'm like, man, I'm so at a different place because I think the first step is just mentally being in a place to where you're really ready to make that commitment.
Hmm.
And it can come in different ways. Maybe, you do get a health scare and it's like, oh, snap, like I gotta get this going. I gotta get this together, start eating better, start working out. Or maybe you witness somebody close to you go through something,
Yeah,
that
very true.
scares you. Or you might just be tired of looking in the mirror and be like, man, I'm good. I need to do a complete 180, and
Right.
and that has been me. That has been me, maybe fresh out the shower or something, like, you know, getting dressed, and it's like, man, there's no reason for my arms to look like this, or no reason for my chest to look like this. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna start eating better. And I mean, for myself, it's like I try to do it, and I have tried to do it like several times. And I'll start, and maybe after a while, it's like, I'm not really seeing much difference. And it's because I'm not doing all the other components. I'm not getting the proper rest. I'm not doing the proper. I'm getting the right amount of protein or getting the right amount of whatever. My diet isn't on point. And if your diet is not on point, you pretty much defeating the purpose of even trying to work out.
Yeah, it's about
Um,
85% of the journey right there is a
right,
diet.
it's the diet. And so I guess I need to just mentally get to a place to where I'm like, all right, I'm really ready to commit. And hopefully that comes before a health scare.
Right, right. 100% agreed with that. So yeah, the other reason why I want to bring this up is that the things that we've kind of talked about really coincide into what our show is about making those changes. And basically, I wanted to showcase the fact that no matter what changes you want to do, the process is still the same. Um, and I did get these steps from Jillian Michaels' article I did find online, but these are steps that we've talked about before, but again in a different context. So I'll go over what she said or what was in her article. And basically, this is by Jillian Michaels. It's on her website, and it's 5 healthy changes to make now. The first thing is change your mind, which we've talked about before, and I want to say in our first episodes and things like that. And the reason why we do these episodes every week is to keep our mind in that process of I want to make some changes. I want to go in this direction. And through the videos and episodes, we're at least keeping each other accountable to doing that and reminding us why we're, the changes we want to make, and hopefully help somebody else with it as well. So the first one is change your mind. The second one is set attainable goals, which in previous episodes, and again, check out all our episodes before this one, how we have talked about certain things, how we see ourselves long term, what we want our life to look like, what would it take for us to leave our current situation, all the way down to, a challenge that Mike actually had brought up in one of our previous episodes. And Mike, you want to talk a little bit about our challenge? Go ahead and talk about it right now. So what is this challenge that we've talked about that is an attainable goal that's short term?
Oh yeah, it's completely attainable. Just selling something that you already have that you're not using in order to just try to pay a bill off. A small bill, a relatively small bill, $50 or something of that nature. But just posting something up, selling it. And I think, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, you've already done that. You've already got something sold.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm
And
still working on it. I got a
right.
couple of things posted up, but nobody's bit yet. So I'm still working on it.
Okay. Well, I guess what I like to take away is that the fact that you did it. Is that the fact that you were like, okay, I'm going to post something up and I'm going to put it aside for selling. And if somebody does it, then cool. And if not, well, I mean, it is what it is, right? At least, and this is like a diet reference or an exercise reference. It doesn't matter how fast you run, you're always going to be faster than the guy sitting on the couch, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
right. So same thing with, the changes that we want to make and the different mentality we want. It doesn't matter, successful or how hard we work at this. As long as we do it and we're moving in that direction, we're always going to be ahead of the person that just says they want to do it. Right.
Right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
The next thing, oh, go ahead. You had something?
Oh, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. The next thing was set up a support system. So again, surround yourself with like-minded people. I want to say, Mike, you said that in our maybe very first or second episode about, building that support group around you and surround yourself with people that are going to support what you want to do.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, with anything, like you said, this can still relate. A lot of these do directly relate to, previous topics that we had. But it's going to be hard to be in a place mentally of wanting to change, wanting to eat healthier if you're around, people who, caravan into Krispy Kreme every day,
Right.
I mean, because like right now, like I'll be a terrible influence, like you're trying to, eat healthier and everything. And here I am going here, going there, getting something. Like I told you, I literally went to Costco today and bought a small tub of cinnamon rolls. So, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna let the viewers, figure out what you did with those. But yeah, let's just say they're not there anymore. The next step was start moving, and I just talked about the walking. It's, so for in the fitness and health version, yeah, get up and walk. Use the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator. Same thing, exactly what you did with, okay, I'm going to post something. I have pictures. It's up on, Craigslist or whatever. Get moving. Start, executing the plan that you set. Start moving to those goals. And again, if you attain them or not, you're still, again, faster than the guy that sitting on the couch, or, you're in a better position than that naysayer that, oh, well, we'll do this or we'll do that, and then never follow through.
Right.
And then the last step that she has on here is stick with it. So it's about being consistent, and, just as a testimony to being consistent, I think, between me and you, the videos have gotten a whole lot easier. And I think I have a lot of fun with them every week, because we are consistent with it. And even though there's a couple of times we're like, oh man, not tonight. Just like you said earlier, man, you're tired. Like you're tired, I'm tired. But I kind of look forward to our weekly recordings. And it's gotten easier, I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's sort of one of those things that when you just make it a part of your life, period. I mean, once you put it in your mind and once you say, okay, I'm going to commit to doing this, you just make it, it's just a part of your regular routine. It is what it is. You wake up, you hop in the shower, everything is routine already. Just add this to it.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that was basically my take on the health thing. And again, the main thing too is just like I said, the motivation for me here is the kids, and I need to be, if not healthy for myself, but I have to be healthy enough to be around for them for the foreseeable future. And, there's certain goals I want to attain that I want to make sure that I could prevent anything ahead of time that may cut me off later on in the future. And health is like that invisible one that a lot of people don't think about. And I thought it was very important for us to talk about on our show, especially if we're talking about, changing for the better.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And not only you being there for them, but just setting that example. So they see like, oh, mommy and daddy are eating healthy, or this, you set that bar. Right. And then it just continues on to your kids, and then they'll probably live a healthy, a healthy, happy life, eating well, working out, staying active.
Right. Okay. So I think that's all I got on the topic. Mike, did you have anything extra you wanted to add as far as like adding health, like that new year, new you terminology or anything like that?
I probably need like an episode or two to commit to something, man, for myself, man. Nah,
Right.
but like I said, man, it's crazy because I know even my doctor. I went to the doctor maybe about I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, and I just had some concerns about some stuff, and I didn't really get a scare, but he did say you need to be working out, and I still haven't done it, but it wasn't a scare. It wasn't a scare. It was more,
Right.
I mean, it wasn't a suggestion. I think he was really just telling me to do it. And I kind of just, I kind of took it as a suggestion.
Right.
But I know I need to change. And like I said, I'm not ready to commit quite yet just because I know that I won't be able to stick with it right now because mentally I'm not 100% there. But
Right.
I need to be. So that's something that I need to work on. At the very least, I could start trying to eat a little healthier, even if I'm not doing a workout.
Right. And again, it's just putting it on the radar. It's just, if you could listen to my story about my health scare and my continued health issues, because diabetic is not something you just not be all of a sudden. Um, hey, just put it on the radar, put it out there for, the folks that are watching our show, listening to our show, that it is something to be concerned about and don't play that game, that too late game. Um, look for the signs, take the time out to rest. We're all about that grind. We're all about that hard work is going to pay off. Work smarter, not harder. But if you're killing yourself and you're not really taking the time out to de-stress and to take care of yourself mentally as well, because again, physical health, mental health, it all coincides with each other. Um, what's all the money in the world going to do for you?
Yeah. Excellent point. I mean, I can't even take anything away from that. That's an excellent point, especially, mental health. Absolutely, too. I can 100% agree with that. And I know working out for a lot of people, it is a stress reliever. So, and I kind of bottle it in, man. I don't really have too much stuff that I do to relieve stress. So that alone is probably a good enough reason for me to take it more seriously and go ahead and try to commit.
Yeah, and so okay, so I think that's about all the time we have for today's episode. Before we leave, I want to just make sure that you guys knew how to all right, you guys know how to contact us. You can hit us directly on Twitter. It's at Practical Pivot. Obviously, you're finding us here on YouTube, so YouTube, check out Practical Pivot. Also, you could go over to SeanFlack.com and we'll have links to this show, the Practical Pivot Show, the Dad's Life podcast, and of course the Sean Flack 2.0 YouTube page. Those are the other two projects that I'm working on. I'm excited because I know Mike's working on something and, it's going to be a beautiful thing. And so, check him out. If you can't hit him on any of those, you could also do practicalpivot@gmail.com. We also get those emails as well. So you got email, Twitter. We got Facebook, got a Facebook page. If you look up Practical Pivot, there's a Facebook page for it where you could comment on any of our episodes. And if you want to join that group, you'll get, the alerts on your through Facebook when the newest episodes come out. So anything else you need to say, Mike?
No, you got me feeling guilty about eating another cinnamon roll. So I think I'm gonna be quiet. I'm good. Thank y'all for listening. And yeah, that's all I got.
All right. So just like Mike said, thanks for listening. And until the next episode, be cool. And we'll see you next week.
Peace.
And we're clear.